Hi, my name is Angelica Duran. Today I will be representing my longitudinal study project. For my project, I will be going over and covering the four participants that I chose for my project. I will be covering how their sleeping habits, eating habits, as well as their physical activity affected their mental health as a whole, and what their trouble areas were, as well as what improvements I saw throughout the entirety of the project. Okay. Jasmine is the first participant, and she is 20 years old and a Hispanic female. She has a full time job and takes care of her kids and her husband. As you can see on the graph, blue represents her physical activity, and when she is most active, her mental health is at its peak. And with that being said, you can see that specifically her diet is in balance, which is also another factor towards her mental health, which would be better if she were to combine it all together. There were a few times that she said that she mentioned her mental health was low because of the inconveniences she had with her children. The second participant is Brian. He is Asian Hispanic and is 20 years old. He is a sophomore in college and works part time. From the beginning of the study, you can see how there are some inconsistency with the physical activity. However, towards the end, you can see how it progresses over time. I believe that it was because of the fact that he was becoming aware of the low physical activity and he decides to take action as the last few weeks were consistent and high. However, with his mental health, it was more dependent on how well the work environment was and if he had to see a specific person or not. Same with his sleep, it also was dependent on how work went as well. Now, I believe if he were to balance out his diet, it would help his mental health just quite a bit more. The third participant is Jessica. She is a Hispanic female who is 20 years old. She is unemployed and currently not in school. As you can see, the purple line indicates sleep, and with Jessica, it was one of the only variables that remained consistent. Everything else seemed to fluctuate. However, her diet and her mental health were the two main results that were almost paired together. I believe that if she were to improve her physical activity, it would help her with the quality of her sleep, overall, improving her mental health state. So, for the last participant, her name is Juliana. She's 14 years old and is a Hispanic female. She's a freshman in high school and is currently in a relationship. She is going to be turning 15 years old within the next month. The one thing that stood out the most in the graph was the inconsistency in her mental health. She is currently under pressure because she has her 15th birthday party coming up and has not been sleeping well and stressating. When it comes to planning her birthday party, she also has to balance out school, family, her social life with her friends, and her boyfriend. So for a 14-year-old, that is definitely a lot to balance out and maintain. So it makes sense why her mental health will go up one week, down another, up one, and so on. It is very interesting to see how each individual is different with age, sex, and status. This project proves that sleeping habits, eating habits, and physical activity don't affect us all equally towards our mental health. Different variants can have different outcomes. For example, both Juliana and Jessica had similar results towards their mental health, but Juliana, who was the younger, who was balancing more with school, family, social life with friends, she was able to get more sleep than Jessica, who was the older one, who had no employment, not going to school. She doesn't have to balance all that out. Just worry about, being at home. She was the one that still had the lower consistent sleeping habits. I know I mentioned Brian improving on his physical activity. However, when comparing him to Jasmine, who already had created the habit of going to the gym weekly, she would also have weeks of low physical activity. In conclusion, physical activity, eating, and sleeping habits all go hand in hand and affect our mental health differently. And that is what I presented today.